Hello and welcome back to my channel where I like to have fun with all things beauty while being critical about what I accept into my collection. Today I am doing a Sephora browsing video. So today I'm going to go through the Sephora website. I'm going to go through what they're calling their best sellers, and I'm just going to chat about what I see. I originally filmed this video with a screen record so it would feel like we were going through it together, but when I tried to figure out how to sync that up, I failed miserably. So I'm going to go and get screenshots to work with instead, just so I can make this go more smoothly. I thought that I would be able to scroll and speak in a way that would be continuous and, quite frankly, be easier for me in editing, but I was not able to do that. So I'm going to use my footage from the screen record, but I'm going to use screenshots instead, and hopefully this is still fun. I've never really taken the time to even look at the Sephora bestsellers list. It just never even occurs to me to look over there, so this will be fun and interesting. And who knows, maybe I'll find something here to add to my wish list, but without further ado, let's jump in. So I'm going to start with the main bestseller page, and depending on what is and isn't interesting, I might go into other categories. First up, number one, I see the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. I completely agree with that. That is my favorite foundation. That's the first thing I'm buying in this sale. I almost never agree with everybody else, so I'm always surprised when that happens. But yes, 100% love that foundation. Next, I see the Summer Fridays, the Lip Butter Balm. This is an okay balm. I think the biggest thing that this has going for it is the scent and the taste. I think they just came out with hot cocoa. I mean, absolutely, sign me up. That's not my favorite color on me, but regardless, I'm sure it tastes fantastic. So buy this if you really want the scent, but if you're looking for just hydration, I much more recommend the Ole Henriksen. I think this is more hydrating. The only thing I would say is don't get the chocolate one. I got cocoa cream and it tastes like blood to me, like blood, like 100% blood. I don't know if I'm the only person in the entire world that gets that from that flavor, but I don't like cocoa cream. I'd stick with the other flavors. That's just my personal recommendation. Then I see the Summer Fridays, the mini bombs. That's great as well. I know this sold out last year. I don't think it's a purchase that you would regret. I just don't think that it's life-changing in any way. So yeah, I mean, that would make a great gift though. The packaging is beautiful. Summer Fridays does a really nice job with packaging. Next, we have the Touchland, the sanitizer. I have never tried these. I've heard that they have exceptional scents. I don't know that I can justify $10 for a hand sanitizer, but one of these days I might try it. Then we have an Ordinary Serum, the niacinamide and zinc for oil control. That is the opposite of the problem that I have, so I will be passing on that. Then the Makeup by Mario, the Ethereal Eyes. You know, this looks pretty, but I don't get along with this formula. So for me, it's really not worth it. I'm glad that I have the palette that I have. I'm glad that I have the shimmers because I think they're pretty and unique, but I don't need to. These shimmers are not different enough for me to justify buying it again. The white shimmer is probably the most unique, and I have that from Natasha Denona and Xenon. I don't need that from Makeup by Mario. To me, that's a downgrade in formula, so I'll stick with Xenon. I do not need this. Anything that's sparkly is tempting, but I'm going to try to pass on that. Then we have the Sol de Janeiro, the Cheriosa Perfume Travel Set. I have a few of these. I don't use any of them though, so I'm going to pass on that. None of the scents are that crazy great to me. Then we have the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush. I have a few of these. I like them. I like this blush. I don't love it because it takes ever so slightly more effort than a cream blush. You know, a liquid blush for me, it just means I need to be more careful with it. And a cream blush tends to be more forgiving. So for that reason, I'm going to stick with my creams. Nothing against these blushes. They last forever, so they're a great value, but I don't need any more. I bought a few of the gift sets when they came out for the holidays, and I was happy to try them, but I don't need to buy any more if I'm honest. We have another Ordinary Serum, the Hyaluronic Acid and B5 Hydrating Serum. This is more up my alley. I have no idea if the Ordinary will be excluded from this sale. They typically are. Regardless, they're great prices. I would consider this, but I don't need it. I have other serums that sort of cover the bases for that. We have the Laneige, the Midnight Minis Lip Set. I've tried a few of these Laneige hot glosses and they're just okay. They're not great. For me, they really don't last all night, so they're nothing to write home about. They come out with some cool, fun colors and scents and all of that, but I really don't go crazy for these. We have the One Size Setting Spray. I always want to try this out of pure curiosity, but I have desert dry skin, so I have no business being even in the same room as this spray. We have the Sephora Advent Calendar. I think that's BS that this is a bestseller. I don't know. No thank you. There's nothing in there that looks interesting to me at all. Another Rare Beauty blush. The mini. I definitely would buy the mini if I was going to buy any from Rare Beauty. We have another Summer Friday Butter Balm set. Man, $50 for lip gloss though. Like I could never. We have Sephora makeup must-haves. This stuff looks okay, but I've tried most of these things and I don't think they're worth $70, not even at 20% off. We have the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. I've heard great things from people that have oil in their skin. We have the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer, medium coverage. I have this. I used to keep this on hand for blemishes mostly. I never really used it under my eyes. I prefer the pot concealer. For me, that stays put a little bit better and it's very flexible. It's also a fantastic eyeshadow base. This version of it though, it's a classic and it's good, but I don't reach for it. So we have the Patrick Ta Major Headlines Blush. I've talked about this a few times. It's just okay. It's a nice formula, but it's nothing, I don't know. I mean, it's nice that you have a powder and a cream right there together because I do often like to use both, but I just haven't come across a shade that like truly knocks my socks off. And we have the Ordinary Glycolic Acid. I know people like basically bathe in this stuff. I don't. Like glycolic acid is an acid that I like for my dry skin, but I don't know. I've never been compelled to try this one. We have the Rare Beauty, the bronzer stick. I've heard really good things about this. I think if they had a shade that really stood out to me, I would probably try it. I'm happy with the cream bronzers that I have, so that's why I've never really been compelled. Rare Beauty is a hit or miss brand for me. I really haven't had good luck with everything, so I don't really like to go out on a limb and try a ton of their stuff. Oh, we have the Rare Beauty, the tinted lip oil. I hated this so much I returned it. I bought this when it first came out during a Sephora sale. I got like 2 different shades of it. I returned both. I hated it. They both turned like a fuchsia on me. And fuchsia is not my color. Like, unfortunately, that was not a nice look. Then we have the Dior Backstage Face Palette. I have wanted one of these, but I don't think it would be this color story. I don't know. I would need to get this on sale because I have so many highlighters and I use so few of the highlighters that I already own. There's no way that I could justify this. I've heard good things, but I haven't heard the best thing about the most recent one. The Anastasia Brow Wiz. I've had this before. These have dried out on me. They don't really last that long, and I'm not big on eyebrow pencils. I'm way too lazy. So this is something that I tried, but I would say if you're interested, definitely get a mini. The $13 one, that's the way to go to see if you like it, because if you don't love it, it will dry out. We have the Armani Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Foundation. I've bought this in the past. I really tried to make it work, but there are some ingredients in it that I'm sensitive to, so I did unfortunately have to return this. We have the Fenty Gloss Balm in Heat, the plumper. I have the regular version. I like it, but I don't love it so much that I need to try it in this version. It's probably a nice gloss though. We have the Sephora collection, the waterproof eyeliner pencil. I actually have one of these. I think it's fine. I think it's a nice way to get a color that you don't think you'll use that often at a good price. I think it's worth it in that sense, but I've not really heard anybody say that it's their favorite. So if I was going for like a black or a brown, I would not buy it from Sephora brand. We have the Hourglass Airbrush Concealer. Been tempted to try a mini of this, but I don't think it's going to beat out the concealers that I have. I think it's going to be more drying than the ones that I like, so that's going to be a pass for me. But I've heard a lot of makeup artists say that they like this. The Haus Labs Foundation. I tried so hard to make this work. I went above and beyond. I tried like 40 different shades. I finally found a good shade match, but it didn't ever sit nicely on my skin. I think everybody's different. I know for a lot of people, this is a holy grail. It works for a lot of people. It just didn't work for me. It didn't. Once in a blue moon, it would sit nice on my skin and it would look pretty, but consistently, it just didn't look good. Unfortunately, it sits in my collection and collects dust because it's not worth it to me when I have foundations like the Nars that just work every time, you know? And I guess at least I bought that on sale, but I should have returned it instead of exchanged it just to find my color. It was sort of, I was on a mission at that point, finally found a good color, never liked the foundation. The Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil Lip Liner. I love these. I love these. These are my favorite liners. They're my favorite eyeliners, lip liners, whatever liners. I don't feel a need to get the waterproof because I think the original works great on me. No problems with longevity. 100% agree with this. The Sephora Waterproof Eyeliner. Never tried this. Haven't really heard anything about it either. We have the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Lip Treatment. Once again, don't get cocoa cream. It does not taste like chocolate. It tastes like blood, but any other flavor, I think it's great. I would buy another one, but I just cannot justify that with the amount of lip gloss that I have going on right now. The Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation. This just isn't for my skin type. I love a good blur, but I know this wouldn't work for me. We have a Selena Gomez Mini Blush and Luminizer Trio. This is a good way to try those formulas, but I'm good. The Charlotte Tilbury Setting Spray. I've tried this. I don't agree with the hype. I don't think it did anything for my skin. I mean, maybe it would have extended wear time if I had oily skin, but I don't. So for me, this was just a little bit drying and not that pleasant. So I don't personally love that one. Then we have the Gisou Honey Infused Lip Oil. I'm always tempted by these. They look really cute, but for $28, like, I don't need a lip oil. I have a full thing of clearance lip oil sitting right in front of me. I cannot justify any more lip oils in my life, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't want this because it's pretty. Of course I want it. The Dior Lip Glows. I never really got on the hype train with any of the Dior lip products. All right, so now we're getting further down. I'm going to skip around a little bit more. Pillow Talk Lip Set. Pillow Talk is not really my color. The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Powder. That was a mouthful. I like this powder. I sort of grew out of it. It's like ever so slightly drying on me now, but for a long time it was my absolute favorite face powder. The Saie Dew Blushes. I've been interested in trying these, but I don't know. None of the colors really jump out at me. I have the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Face Palettes. I wasn't tempted this year. I usually am, but honestly, I looked at these and I looked at the ones that I had and I was like, where are the new shades? I don't know. I know that they're new shades, but they just don't stand out to me as being new, innovative, or any of that. Like, I'm glad that they're doing new shades. Like, finally, we've been asking for that for a long time, but I just wasn't tempted. I sort of looked at this year's and I said, I'm going to wait till next year. I actually use my Tiger palette every single day. I really love that palette. So it's not because I don't like the formula of these. I love the formula of these. They didn't get me this year, you know? I'll start saving now for my palette next year. And I would only ever get these at 20% off. Otherwise, I would get the minis. Like, if you just want to try it out, just buy one of the minis. They're a great deal, and then you could pick whatever shade you want. The Kosas Revealer Concealer, totally agree. That's my #1 concealer. I don't love the shade range. I do wish it matched my skin tone a little bit better, but I love the finish of it. It's hydrating without being too luminizing. It sits great. It wears all day. I really like that concealer. The Rare Beauty Blush, the Luminous Powder Blush, I hated these. I bought 3 of them during the last sale. I returned all of them except for the one that I bought with my Sephora points when I got the $100 gift card from Sephora. You can only exchange what you buy. If you return it, like, they'll probably let you return it, but you don't get your money back. You don't get your points back. You don't get to buy something else for that money. So because of that, I just decided to keep it. But I don't use it because it's not flattering. It exposes all of my texture. It's just like the worst highlighter in my collection. I don't like it at all. So I don't agree with that one. I see the Tower 28 concealer as well as the Haus Labs concealer. I have both of those in my collection. I don't love either of them though. To me, the Tower 28 settles in my fine lines like really fast, and doesn't have that much coverage. So it's like it highlights things and then it doesn't cover anything up. So there's no trade-off. There's no upside for me. I know a ton of people love that concealer because it's very lightweight. I do like that about it, but just didn't work out for me. The Haus Labs, on the other hand, I think it just sits a little bit too heavy on my skin, so it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I just didn't love it that much. And finally, I see the Kayali Mini Vanilla Perfume Duo set. I was really curious about these. I love Vanilla Gourmand and all that, so I bought a sampler set from Kayali during the last sale. None of the scents really grabbed me though. I didn't fall in love with any of them, and then on top of that, the longevity wasn't fabulous, so I'm gonna skip on the Kayali perfumes, but I know a lot of people love those. And I think that's it for now. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw in something a little bit different and fun in the middle of all these videos. And so I had my mic turned off for this portion, but I was just saying here that my next video is going to be a more straightforward recommendations video. I'm going to quickly go through all of my favorites and then talk about what I'm going to pick up during the sale. So that'll be a more traditional Sephora video. I just threw this in the mix just for something a little bit more interesting, but I hope to have that video finished by this Thursday or Friday. I hope this was somewhat entertaining, and I hope you're having a fabulous day wherever you are. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.